Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Chairman SACP, Mr. Akif Saeed, my friend and country manager, Pakistan for ACCA, Mr. Asad Hamid Khan, fellow colleagues, members of the ACCA, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and very good morning. First of all, I'm very grateful to ACCA for inviting me here. And I was part of the Karachi conversation as well. So thanks to Asad and the management team of ACCA. He called me yesterday that there is no free lunch. So you are coming here and you should be our speaker in the inaugural session. So because of my very close affiliation, I accepted his request because ACCA is very close to my heart. And we worked very closely in the last, especially 7 to 8 years, not only in Pakistan, but in different regions around the world. We worked very closely with Helen Brand, many global presidents of ACCA, and many of the other senior officials. And next month, we are hosting their managing director for Asia Pacific in our 7th edition of the Future Summit in Karachi, which is actually the flagship event of the corporate Pakistan. I personally believe that ACCA is doing a commendable role. One is the engagement of our youth, but one is their role to create a positive and soft image of Pakistan globally. Because ACCA is actually a global community working in 181 countries and geographies around the world. And our very dear friend, for example, Ayla Majid, is right now currently the global vice president, and she's supposed to be the deputy president followed by the global president. One of our very dear friend, Noman Mia, who is a Pakistani based in Dubai, he's also part of the 16 members Global Council of ACCA. So 2 Pakistanis are the part of their Global Council, where your membership is around 250,000 and there are over 500,000 students. So this is a community of 750,000 individuals around 181 countries and geographies. The way you are showcasing Pakistan's talent globally and in different regions, the way you are portraying the business case studies from Pakistan, I think this is a commendable job. And full marks to Asad and his entire team. They are doing a lovely work. Hosting Global Ethics Day in last 72 hours is a very hectic, but I must say the productive job by ACCA. Karachi, then Lahore, then Islamabad in last 72 hours. So my compliments to you, Asad, and your entire team. In Karachi, my topic was Pakistan's economic growth roadmap. And I shared a disclaimer that I'm not an economist. An economy is a very vast subject. And my area of expertise is only investment. And this is my area of working as well. And investment is only a part of the larger economic picture. But I shared some key points related to national issues. And here I will try to cover some of the national issues, as well as Asad asked me to cover the investment landscape. What should be our investment roadmap for attracting FDI in Pakistan? So before discussing the economy or the investment climate or the business landscape in Pakistan, the topic is Pakistan's growth roadmap. Huge topic. We can discuss this topic hours and hours and days. But the first and foremost challenge for our country, and I must say the biggest threat to our country, is not external. This is internal. And in addition to economy and many other areas, but this is the most important area and the biggest threat to Pakistan is our education system. Our today's population size is 250 million. 25 crore log hain hum log. And the projection for next 23, 24 years, 20 to 47, is 40 crores, 400 million. Out of 250 million population, around 28 million kids are out of the school. Day before yesterday, I shared the number of 25 million, but yesterday, the new number is 28 million. This is the authentic number. This is over 28 million. So imagine the magnitude of our crisis, because this is one number which is actually out of the school. But there are many million students who are part of the public sector. और ये वो वाला public sector है जो बच्चों को मैट्रिक के बाद भी उनका नाम ही लिखना आता है. And there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of schools who are producing this type of talent. So when we are facing this crisis, imagine what will happen after 8 or 10 years in Pakistan if your 4 crore or 5 crore kids are without education. And education is one area. The second area is vocational training. We are not providing them education. We should provide them technical skills or the vocational training. This youth bulge is an asset for Pakistan, but this is up to us how we will utilize this youth bulge in favor of Pakistan. But in case of same policies, the same education system, the same lack of will of all the governments in the past, including the military governments, as well as the civilian governments, I think Pakistan will be in a disastrous situation, God forbid. But this is writing on the wall. So before addressing the economy or any other thing, I must say the long-term plan should be focused on education, education, and education. We are referring India in every matter, that their FDI is this, their IT exports is this. What way they did actually? They developed their education system. Look at their IITs and IIMs. Now they are established. They are producing the global leaders. Around 48 to 50 global MNC CEOs are Indian origin or Indian nationals. So look at their power. And IITs and IIMs are one thing, but their entire education system. And same other countries are also doing. So our issue is big because we are not a small European country, or we are not a small African country or a Central Asian country. No. We are the world's 5th largest population in the world, 5th largest country in the world. The population size, as I mentioned, is 25 crore. And we should think about the next 20, 23, 24 years when Pakistan will be 100 years old. 400 million population is not a joke. So again, it's up to us that how we will manage the next 25 years. But unfortunately, in this country, my experience is that every government is working on ad hoc basis, except few individuals or few ministries or few institutions. So this is the dilemma. The education is the #1 threat to Pakistan. And there should be an emergency of education in Pakistan, not the lip service or the claims or the announcements and then change of policies after every government or after changing of every minister. So there is a need of big rethink about this alarming situation, because the data is very clear. 28 million kids are out of school. The data is alarming. So again, there is a need of big rethink. But this is my point #1. Asad asked me to discuss about the investment landscape. I personally believe that despite all the negatives, I worked in the government and I'm working with the governments. I'm working with the entire corporate sector of Pakistan, and I'm working closely with the Saudi Arabia government, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan governments. I personally believe that there is a potential of few $1 billion investment opportunity in every sector of our economy. Trust me. And I'm saying this with complete responsibility. But this can't be done with ad hoc policies. This can't be done. There is a need of 20, 25 years investment roadmap or strategy for Pakistan, with the guarantee of 10 to 12 years continuation of policies, like India is doing, like Bangladesh is doing. There is a guarantee of 12 years continuation of policies in Bangladesh. Welcome, my friend Faisal. So here is the issue. So my learning is, and I want to share a disclaimer that I'm not part of any political party. I'm working only for the state of Pakistan. I'm apolitical. So my learning is that there are 5 key issues who are the hurdles for the better investment climate. One is the incompetence at the highest level. In fact, this is much bigger issue in comparison with corruption. There should be zero tolerance on corruption, but our main issue is incompetence. Number 1. Number 2 is the lack of political will. Number 3 is lack of continuation of policies. Number 3 is lack of long-term strategy. And 5th is lack of collaboration amongst the stakeholders. These are the 5 key points, my 5 key learnings, which are the biggest hurdle for attracting foreign direct investment in Pakistan. So before talking on FDI, I always believe, and this was my focus when I was part of the government as well, because I was there to do the restructuring of the system and to bring the reforms. I believe that our 80 or 90% focus should be on existing investors. Because if your existing investors are happy, they are satisfied, FDI will come automatically. And there are 2 types of existing investor. One is the foreign investor. And in foreign investors, there are 3 categories. One is the OICCI crowd, Overseas Investor Chamber of Commerce Industry. There are 210 companies, 210 companies like Standard Chartered or Unilever and many other companies. One is the mid-size investor and one is the small-size investors. But they all are the foreign investors already working in Pakistan. Already they invested in Pakistan. And one is our local landscape, the big boys, the members of the Pakistan Business Council, then the mid-size investors and the local small investors. So without facilitating the existing investors, you can't attract the sustainable FDI. You can attract 3 or 4 projects or 5 projects, but this can't be sustainable. You will again be at the same position after 1 year or 2 years. So what is the need? And before sharing more points, I must compliment the chairman of ACCP, Akif Saeed, and his entire team, because I was part of the government and we always shared very positive views about ACCP with the Prime Minister. ACCP is one of the best regulators and they are progressing and progressing and progressing. This is an ongoing process. As the chairman mentioned about, they are working on the digital and this is an ongoing process. State Bank, there are issues, but this is also one of the best regulators in Pakistan, I must say. And these are my learnings and these were the feedbacks from the industry. But there are regulators like FBR. I don't want to say much, but they are acting like an Indian company. So this is not on a lighter note, but on a serious note. Because everyone is, in a problem with the policies of FBR and multiple other issues to FBR. So these are the challenges which Pakistan is facing, the Pakistani business community is facing. And doing business sometimes is like a jihad in Pakistan. And this is on and on and on. How to fix this overall landscape? You have to do the complete restructuring of your investment board. There are a few points in the ordinance of BOI which needs to be restructured. There is a need of engagement of the private sector. There is no need to continue the same old Farsuda Nizam of Federal Public Service Commission, where I need some competent individuals to handle different countries like Saudi Arabia or China. But there are individuals who are very average performers. They're not capable to manage these countries or the big size investors. So all the other investment agencies and boards in Central Asia, ASEAN, Middle East, Africa, they all did the same. So there is a need of complete overhauling of the system as far as the investment is concerned. And this is the role of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, whoever is the Prime Minister, whoever is the government. And here we need a collaboration with the military and the bureaucracy and the business community as well. In isolation, no one can transform this landscape. Neither the political government, neither the military, neither the bureaucracy, neither the business community. So like other countries, there is a need of business collaboration for attracting the investment. And we should focus 6 to 8 countries. This was my policy. No need to work on 25, 30 countries. So 3 countries I picked: Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. Now SIFC is working on these 3 countries. The 4th one is China. 5th one is US. And Netherlands was also one of the important countries. Also, there is a need to engage our overseas Pakistanis in the system. They talk too much, but there is no significant investment from overseas Pakistani in the last few years. And I'm saying with complete responsibility. So there is no need of sermons on Facebook and social media or WhatsApp groups. No. If you believe in Pakistan, invest in Pakistan. So there is a need of building the confidence, building the trust on Pakistan's investment system after these reforms. Because the global diaspora of Pakistan is too huge. This is significant. In every important country, there is a diaspora who are in a position to attract the local investors in their countries. So again, we need a 20-25 years investment strategy for this country. Again, with a guarantee of 10 to 12 years of continuation of policies. So this is my view about the investment landscape. These days, SIFC is closely working with Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. And Saudi Arabia was my favorite country as far as the investment is concerned. This was my project, and I worked very hard, and still I'm working with the Saudi investment minister and their team. Trust me, this is the most happening place on this earth today as far as economic activity is concerned. Their public investment fund is the 3rd largest investment fund in the world. Their official size in 2025 December will be $1.7 trillion. Imagine the magnitude. And they are investing in small countries few billion of dollars. Because of our problems, they were failed to invest in Pakistan. And this was the only discussion throughout my tenure as well. And we designed a strategy. And now SIFC is working on this. But again, before attracting or before working on the larger picture in Saudi Arabia, you have to fix your local system. And I assure you that in addition to G2G and G2B, huge opportunity with B2B investments from Saudi Arabia. Mohammed bin Salman actually transformed this country. He's the person behind this all transformation. This is just the beginning after 6 years. Look at their 2030 vision. Look at their Neom City and other projects. This is the most happening place on this earth. He urged the Saudi business houses, the family business houses, to focus on Pakistan. But trust me, your own brother will never invest with you if you are not providing them an enabling environment in Pakistan. So this is the problem. Telenor is exiting. Shell is departing from Pakistan now. These are the stories, but it's still there's a huge opportunity. It's up to us. It's up to leadership. So in addition to education and investment landscape, in the end, I want to cover two more topics, which is actually very alarming for all of us. And one is the political polarization in this country. ये वाहिद कंट्री मैंने देखी है जिसके लोग दुनिया में जाके पाकिस्तान बैशिंग करते हैं. आपने कभी इंडिया के किसी सिटीजन को आउटसाइड इंडिया बैशिंग करते हुए देखा है? आप जरा जाएं इंडिया में, वो ग्लोबल ग्रोथ हो रही है बट एक पॉवर्टी का लेवल है. वहां की पॉलिटिक्स हमसे ज्यादा डर्टी पॉलिटिक्स है, बट एक यूनाइटेड इंडिया होता है. सो दिस इज द रोल ऑफ ऑल ऑफ अस, नॉट द गवर्नमेंट, कि ये पॉलिटिकल पोलराइजेशन हम बंद करें. वी नीड टॉलरेंस, वी नीड पेशेंस इन आवर बिहेवियर्स, वी नीड टू एक्सेप्ट द रियलिटी. So this political polarization is actually a big alarming situation or a damaging factor for Pakistan. And also there is an important role of media, the national media, in nation building. So there is a need of nation building again for the country. There are issues, there are hurdles, there are negativities. But trust me, there is an opportunity everywhere. We are habitual for crying. शाम 6 बजे और 12 बजे के दरमियान जो इस मुल्क में तमाशा मीडिया पे होता है, तो 12 बजे यकीन कर ऐसा लगता है सुबह पाकिस्तान नहीं होगा, बट पाकिस्तान सुबह वैसे ही शाइन कर रहा होता है. So I stopped watching television around 4 years back, all the political talk shows, and there is a peace in my life as well. So we should change this environment through our media. And this is the role of a state, the military, the political government, all the concerned stakeholders should sit together and design a framework for our media. 4 or 5 months back, and this is my last point, I was driving my car in Karachi and I was with my mother. I referred this case in Karachi as well. So एक पॉडकास्ट मेरे पास आया. हमारे दोस्त हैं आमिर पराचा जो यूनिलीवर के सीईओ हैं, आजकल OICCI प्रेसिडेंट भी हैं, एंड साथ में शहजाद रवाई थे. So वो रुकी, and after 4 or 5 minutes I engage in the podcast. This was around 40 minutes podcast. कराची में फासले बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं. So my mother also engaged in the podcast, and both of us were listening. And after 15-20 minutes I realized that जिस क्वालिटी की ये डिस्कशन है, और इस किस्म की बहुत सारी डिस्कशंस होती हैं, अगर हम नेशनल मीडिया पे ऐसी स्ट्रैटेजी इनको रन करना शुरू करें, आपको मैं गारंटी कर रहा हूं कि 6 महीने में आपका माइंडसेट तब्दील होगा. दुनिया में इस चीज पे काम होता है. ये जो आप इनफ्लो लेते हैं ना, वही आपकी फिर रिफ्लेक्शन आपके पास से निकलती है, वही आपका माइंडसेट होता है. आप उससे एक हफ्ता बैठ के नेगेटिव बातें करें, मैं नेगेटिव हो जाऊंगा. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि ग्राउंड रियलिटी को इग्नोर करें, अंडरस्टैंड करें, but negative propaganda, targeted propaganda, bashing, bias mindsets, these are the hurdles. And this is the big issue and the big hurdle for the growth of Pakistan. So in the end, I'm very grateful to ACCA for playing their role for the national development and the national growth of Pakistan. And inshallah, we will collaborate in the future with more zeal and more enthusiasm and with more commitment. Pakistan first. Thank you.